today I am going to do the popular books that I don't like. I actually didn't want to make this video because I always felt like these type of videos are very negative, and that wasn't something that I wanted to put on my channel. And I always feel like people get really mad when people say mean things about their favorite books. I know that happens for me. If someone says anything mean about Fangirl, I feel like that's a personal attack. But when I was thinking about video ideas, this one kept popping into my head. And I was thinking that I didn't have that many popular books that I didn't like because I'm not a very picky reader. But while I was thinking that, so many books kept popping into my head, and I just felt like I would share them with you. So if I mention your favorite book in this video, I'm really sorry. People just have very different opinions when it comes to books. Actually, that is something that is very cool about our community, because we have so many different opinions, and for me that is all BookTube is about, sharing our opinions. So yeah, if I do mention your favorite book, I'm really sorry. And the first one that I have here, it's actually the one that is the most popular, and it's The Raven Cycle. I don't hate these books, I just don't love them as much as everyone else. This book series is like a 3/4 out of 5 stars for me. It's like no big of a deal. I don't really get the world. I have read the first 2 books, I still have Blue Lily Blue to read, and the last book. But yeah, the world is just very confusing. I love magic, but I like magic with rules, and I don't really get what's going on. I also feel like the writing style is very weird, and that's something that people like, is very like poetic and different. But something just doesn't just click with me with these books. Also the characters, I like Blue, I also like Noah, but the other boys, Adam, Gansey, Ronan, I don't know. I'm going to keep reading these books, and I hope that something changes for me. But yeah, these aren't my favorite thing in the world. Then I have Heartless by Marissa Meyer, and this makes me so sad because I love Marissa Meyer. Like, The Lunar Chronicles is one of my favorite series. I love her writing style, I love their characters, but this book, I read this book in a very bad place, and that affected my enjoyment of this book a lot. But still, when I was reading this book, I wanted an escape, and I just didn't feel connected with the book or with the characters. Also, I don't like Alice in Wonderland, so I don't know what I was thinking reading this book, not liking that. And obviously, this is kind of a prequel that follows Queen of Hearts before she becomes evil. So I don't know what was on my head. Everyone loved this book, and I love the author, but yeah, I gave it 2 stars. I really did not enjoy this book. And another book that makes me very sad that I did not like, it's Passenger by Alexander Bracken. I love the Darkest Mind series, it's one of my favorites, and this book is just, it's like a completely different genre, but it's so different. A writing style is much better in this book, and I don't really like historical fiction. It's the same thing as Heartless. I wanted to read the book because I like the author, but I knew that the book wasn't for me. But still, my problem was with the characters. They were so boring. The main character was just she didn't have anything to it. And the love interest, I didn't like him at all. I hated the romance. It was insta-love, and you know how I feel about it, but the plot was so interesting, and this book, when it came out, it was on everyone's favorite lists. Again, I was really bored while reading this, and yeah, oh, this sucks because I wanted to like it so much. And the next one is Every Art a Doorway. I read this book in the summer, and it was so boring. Again, this book is very short and the world is very strange, but just like Passenger, problem was with the characters, they were very weird. I liked that this book was very diverse because we follow a main character that is asexual and we also have a transgender character. The world was very weird and I thought that I would like it because this book is about these school that has kids that went to a different world. Like Narnia, they went to a closet or a doorway and they discovered a world that they loved more than our world. And they came back, but they didn't want to. And this sounds really cool, but it was just too weird for me. And I didn't like the characters. I'm sorry. And then I have another one that is going to upset so many people. And it's Daughter of Smoke and Bone. Yeah, I didn't like this book. I think I actually gave 3 stars to this one. It wasn't a bad book. Laini Taylor's writing style is very different and it's very poetic and it took me quite a while to adjust to it. And like all of these books, I didn't really like the world. It was very weird. The characters were very weird too. Like the entire book was just very confusing. I didn't understand what was going on. And when they explained what was going on, I was still confused. Again, I really wanted to like this book because so many people do. I still want to continue on with this series because I feel like I need to give these books another chance. But yeah, I'm not a fan of it. Sorry. The next one is The Kiss of Deception. And this was a book that I didn't get why I didn't like it, because when I read it, I was in such a fantasy high. I was reading so many fantasy books and I was loving fantasy, and the plot and the story of this book, it was so similar to the things that I was reading and loving, but strangely I didn't like it. I didn't like the main character. I was confused with the love interests because I didn't know who was who, and not only because one of them was the prince that she was supposed to marry and the other one was the assassin that was after her to kill her, and we didn't know which one of them was who. But also I kept getting confused with the characters because they were very similar. They sounded exactly the same to me. When I was reading one point of view, I didn't really know whose chapter I was reading and I wasn't feeling the love triangle, and yeah. And the next book is Finding Audrey. This was the first audiobook that I ever listened to and it took me a while to adjust to the different format. Again, this wasn't a bad book. People always describe it as super hilarious and they love the characters, and I didn't find this book particularly funny and I didn't get the characters, and also our main character suffered from severe anxiety and she was having those problems with anxiety because something happened in school, and it's never explained in the entire book why it happened, and I know that was the point of all of that it didn't need to be explained, but I kind of needed an explanation. And then finally we have Ugly Love by Colleen Hoover. I hate this book. Seriously. I also read it in my first year in the book community, and I read it in the summertime, and I was reading so many great books and I was loving reading, and this book got me into my first reading slump. So I know everyone likes Colleen Hoover, but yeah, I don't. I'm sorry. This was the only book that I read by her and I don't want to pick another one up. I didn't like her writing style like at all. This is an adult book, but I've read adult books before, and before I started reading YA, it was all I read, and I know the problem wasn't because I couldn't relate so much to these characters. as the characters that I was reading about because they were my age. I think it was because I didn't actually like them. I didn't understand them. They were very stupid and I didn't like the romance like at all. I felt the relationship to be very like, not abusive, but very toxic. Obviously, like, the sex scenes were very steamy and blah blah blah. I liked the finale of this book. It kind of saved a bit of the book for me, but the rest of it, yeah, I don't like this book at all. And yeah, I guess this completes this video. Are you very mad with me? I'm sorry. I swear I don't usually make these negative videos. If you want to see something else more positive, you can check all of my videos. If you did agree with me on some of the books that I mentioned, or if there are any other popular books that you didn't like that everyone loves, please don't say Cassandra Clare or Fangirl, but please leave that in the comments. If you did like this video, please give me a thumbs up, and I hope that you can stick around with me, so please subscribe. Bye!